Welcome, YouTube friends and family, to today's fun edition of the Wellness Homesteader. So first, I want to start out by saying welcome to all my new subscribers. Big thank you and shout out to my returning. I appreciate the time you spend watching my videos. It does help me out a whole lot. Don't forget, guys, smash that like button. And I always ask you to leave me a comment below. So for those of you who were on my live, this is actually Monday. You'll be seeing this on Tuesday. You were on my Sunday live or you watched it in replay. I want to thank you all for your well wishes, for your thoughts, for your prayers, because I feel like a new woman today. So yes, I went back on my non-narcotic anti-inflammatory medication. Like it's the difference of daylight and dark. But we had a little chitty chat down in the comments. I don't want to stretch my back wrong. I said, you know, I wish there was a portable heating pad, like a cordless thing is what I was trying to say. So I got on Amazon and I wanted to try it before I, said, hey, I found this, I think I did share that I ordered it. So this is a heated massager and it's by this company, Soela, in maybe Solia. Why couldn't it be like Mary's heating pad? I can say. But it had super high reviews. It is on sale right now. I think it was $46. I'll leave a link in the description box below. It had great reviews, like 4.5 stars. I did not see anything negative about it. So let me stand up here. I'm hoping it will, I hope you guys laugh. I'm hoping it will double as a waist trainer. So it's just oh man, Velcro is strong, has very strong grip. Okay, there you go. So this is what it looks like. It has a little pocket here for the battery, and you have the choice of heat or massage. It also comes, guys, with a, you need the block, but it comes with all the USB charging cords that you would need. I'm interested to see how long it will actually stay hot. I've had it on for about an hour. It's still super hot. It does come with an extender too. So when I saw the extender, I'm like, I'm going to be needing that. But actually, and y'all, I'm not a thin person. I've got about a 6-inch overlap. So I think, if you needed the extender, this would fit many sizes. And that is never a knock on anybody's size or weight, because look at me, right? So I personally do not like massage features. It's not the belt. It's my surgical situation. I have so much hardware in my back, and some of it was inserted through the front and a lot was inserted through the back, and you don't have a lot of padding here, so it's painful for me. And I think that's a me thing. So I have turned on the massage feature. It works just fine. It's just not for me. And I'll give you a warning. I'm going to insert right here, just so y'all have a little bit of an understanding, a picture of some of the hardware. I no longer have what I have in my neck on my picture camera roll, or whatever they call it. Is it camera roll? Okay. Just so you have an idea, why sometimes I'm great and why sometimes I'm like, well, I can't make a video today. All right, skip ahead 20 seconds if you don't like seeing that. So yes, I'm kind of bionic, if you will. I've been asked a lot of strange questions like, do you set off the alarms when you go to the airport? And the answer is yes and no. Everything that's implanted, from here down is all titanium, which does not react through the metal detection part. The body scanning that they do will show that I have something hidden in my neck and I have something hidden at my waistband. So I'm always like, selected for additional screening. Usually when I travel, I will wear this necklace because they're always like, oh, it's just your necklace. Well, I must always wear this necklace. This is a Tiffany necklace my son got me when he was young for Mother's Day, and that's why I always wear it. Back in the day where blingy jeans were popular, I would always try to wear jeans with bling on the pockets because it would pass me through. In today's world, bling jeans are out. So yeah, I'm gonna be selected for additional screening and have to go early. And again, guys, it's just straight up from the body scanner. Let me get a little sippy sip. So, as promised on the live, I wanna talk to you today about why processed foods are addictive. And yes, we're gonna make something that isn't highly processed as part of this video. So it's kind of a two-parter all in one, just be a second for you. So I happened across a research video on YouTube. Y'all, I love like anything like historical or, you know, that builds my knowledge. And it was actually a video of the inventor of this coined term of Bliss point. So what it means is it's the amount of ingredients like salt, sugar, fat, which optimizes the deliciousness of a food product. And I'm like, well, pretty much everything has salt, sugar, and fat. Excuse my stomach growling, y'all, if you can hear it. We need to get busy and start cooking. But let me give you an example. And this is the example that the market researcher Howard Moskowitz actually gave in this video, and I thought it was brilliant. So if you are a coffee or a tea drinker, do you put milk or cream or sugar in your coffee or tea? Well, if you put too little, it's not quite right. If you keep adding, I use cream. So if I don't put enough, it's a little too dark. If I put too much, it's too milky. So it's kind of like Goldilocks, and you want to get that amount that is just right. So Mr. Moskowitz, wow, that is a mouthful, is an American market researcher. And he is known for optimizing food product taste so that it just makes you want it, right? It's just, you know, chef's kiss kind of a thing. So he's done everything from spaghetti sauce to soft drinks. Now, y'all, with my diagnosis of, you know, early diabetes, I've become even more of a label reader. Even though I cook a lot from scratch, there are certain things I do not make, y'all. I do not make crackers. And I've always wondered why they put sugar in Ritz crackers. Like, why? You know? And again, that's this Bliss point. So what they're looking for is just the right amount of saltiness, sweetness, and richness. And while I'm a creationist, not an evolutionist, we do know our bodies have evolved or changed over time from, say, prehistoric times. And we've evolved to favor foods with these type tastes. So why? Well, it's all in your head. So our brains respond with a reward when we consume these bliss point things. It gives you a jolt of endorphins. Well, we all know endorphins make us feel good. Like you exercise, you get the exercise high kind of a thing. So the body will remember what we did to get those rewards, and it will make us want to do it again. So I'm thinking it's all my brain's fault. But seriously, when you think about it, you know, you get your neurotransmitters or your dopamine, your feel-good hormone is being released when you eat this. So it's really no wonder why we have cravings, why many people struggle with being overweight, with heart disease, with eating disorders, with binge eating, because we are, in fact, being controlled by the food industry that is looking for this bliss point that is going to make us crave their product and want it again and again and again. So I always thought that cravings, and they can be, were like if you're craving oranges, maybe you're low in vitamin C, right? Or if you really want a banana, maybe you're low in potassium. I thought it was more driven by nutrition, but since our food is so highly processed in today's world, we are being controlled by the Mr. Moskowitz. I said a little better that time. So here's another interesting thing. The combination of sugar, salt, and fat put together in a product act synergistically, so they build on one another, and they are more rewarding than one alone. How many of you have had a snack attack? I'll speak for myself. And you're like, I could use some good old salty popcorn. And so you eat it, and then you're like, well, I need something sweet to kind of counteract that salt. Well, that is your body knowing, your brain knowing that to release the maximum amount of endorphins and dopamine, it needs that combination. So therefore, in these researchers that are doing food product optimization, the goal is to include at least 2 out of the 3. Now, I'm talking about processed food, not so much talking about home-cooked food, and I'll explain why in just a moment. Hold on, guys, I got a hiccup. Yo, I'm beginning to think the hiccups are here to stay. My apologies. So this food optimization and bliss point is a very controversial part of the food industry, and it is largely why legislators will push for more regulation of certain highly processed foods, and we're going to talk more about that, because it actually can produce an addictive type behavior. I actually read one study, which I won't bore you with, that said ultra-processed foods are more addictive than smoking cigarettes. But anyway, so why are we addicted to processed foods? Why is it so hard? Like, we'll eat really healthy, and then we're like, yeah, I want a Dorito. Well, refined carbohydrates, and this is really important. So our highly processed flours, they take out the germ, and they also take out the bran. So that's what I mean by refined carbohydrates. There's also a lot of refined fats. So when you see the canola oil, the vegetable oil, which is largely soybean, the newest oil that fast food is using, rapeseed oil, those are highly processed foods, and for whatever reason, they give a similar dopamine release or high as drinking alcohol or utilizing nicotine. And we know those both can be very addictive, especially nicotine can be very addictive. I know not everyone has an alcohol issue, but that's kind of scary. They're playing with our food to make us dependent on this processed food. So how do they get refined carbohydrates? Well, they process the grain half to death. They bleach it. Yeah, they do bleach it. How they bleach it, I don't even really want to know. But they remove the bran and they remove the germ. One of the reasons they do that is because that is the part of the grain that will deteriorate or spoil or go rancid. So it makes a product last longer. And they throw in a bunch of preservatives, additives, colorants, and artificial flavors, just in case that helps that whole dopamine thing. But what is left is something where they have to add back the nutrition, because by removing the bran and the germ, that takes away a lot of the nutrition that we could absorb. So you'll see enriched white flour, and it'll say we added, these 14 things back. Who knows how our body can utilize or absorb these artificially created nutrients into our body? So the less processed food, the better. But sadly, by doing this process of refining the carbohydrates, it makes them more addictive. Now, I'm not saying that was the original thought. The original thought in why they removed the bran and the germ was totally shelf life. now I think they've learned a lot more about our brains and how they act. So that's processed foods. Now there is a new category called ultra processed foods. So these are things like Little Debbie's. I love me some Little Debbie's. Soft drinks, the frozen meals, the frozen desserts, you know, like the pies and the cheesecakes you can buy. Cereal, breakfast cereal, totally marketed to children. And it is definitely the major component of fast food. It's very highly processed and very highly preserved because, you know, how many McDonald's are there? A whole bunch. And so they're producing all that food and farming it out to each one of the franchises. So it has to be ultra processed in order to stay fresh. And also, if you go to McDonald's A and McDonald's B, you know their Egg McMuffin is going to taste exactly the same. The problem with ultra processed foods is it's absorbed quicker and it hits your brain faster and it releases more dopamine. So you get that quick fix. So people who are highly addicted to fast food, which I am so thankful for a mother who home cooked. Fast food has never been like a huge part of my life. So at least that's one thing I won't have to overcome. But I will tell you, every 2 weeks when I get my lashes done, except during the pantry challenge, I go to Wendy's and I get a single with cheese and ketchup only. I don't know why. I crave it. Well, maybe I do know why, right? So I have had a really strange craving, y'all. I've had a lot of them through this journey. I have been wanting some Eggo waffles. Okay, I'll just admit it. And I like the buttermilk type. So I'm like, well, I know that's got to be an ultra processed food. And yes, indeed it is. So it has the highly processed flour. It has sugar. And I did not know this, but it has vegetable oil. And it has a list about this long of all the possibility type of oils, whether it's canola, corn, it's soybean was the #1. But those are highly refined, highly processed foods that we really should avoid eating at all cost. It also has salt. And we're gonna make some waffles today in a non-processed food manner. Now, I will tell you before we get started, it does have fat. It does have, I'm gonna say sweetener, which I think you could totally leave out depending on the topping you want to use. And it has a dash of salt in it. However, we're gonna grind our own flour. So stay tuned for that for just a moment. Anyway, an Eggo waffle, and I went to the Kellogg site, has 1 gram of fiber, 4 grams of protein, 6 grams of fat, and almost no vitamins and minerals. So I'm like, okay, how can I change that up? One of the things I've learned on my journey, and I hope this is helpful for you all, I'm sorry to keep talking about me, but when I learned something that helps me, because it was very hard for me to change my diet, and I fall off the wagon sometimes, I'm just gonna tell you, might have had a Wendy's burger yesterday, but the sugar was, you know, fairly easy to give up. I thought, why don't I try making buckwheat waffles? I love the taste of freshly ground grains. It has a richer, nuttier, totally different flavor. I mean, not that we eat flour by the spoonful, but it tastes very different and your products taste very different. It takes a little getting used to if you're using a lot of ultra processed food. Now, do I still use processed flour? I do. Y'all know I still have some. I still like it. But now that I've kind of understood some of the relationship, it's motivating me to do so much better on what I'm consuming. So buckwheat flour is gluten-free. That's a huge plus. It has, and guys, I had to do some guesstimating, about 12 grams of fiber in a single serving as compared to, did I say fiber? I meant fiber if I didn't, compared to the less than 1 gram. So fiber helps you feel fuller, longer, and it satiates you, and you're not relying on that dopamine hit from ultra processed foods to satiate or to satisfy you. It also is very high in minerals. Now, if you look at the Eggo nutritional facts, they've added some things back into the flour, but they're basically not nutritious. And what do most people do? Well, they're putting syrup on that. I personally don't like soggy waffles, so I like jelly on mine, or, which does have sugar, or I like to dip my waffle in maple syrup rather than to just, you know, let it soak it all up. So let's go over in the kitchen. And y'all, I do realize I still have Valentine's decor up, but I'll get that switched out. Might be past Valentine's Day. So I thought, well, I'll just wear the shirt to match it. But hopefully it's supposed to be a little bit warmer today. About half of our snow has melted. I'm really excited about that. It is about 5:30 in the morning. So let's go over and let's make some buckwheat waffles. I hope you'll stay tuned. So I did want to say one more thing about the heating pad, portable cordless thing. The one disadvantage, my britches are all a little bit baggy because I've lost some weight, but I'm not gonna buy new pants and just whatever. And these happen to be sweatpants. Just the way it hits on me, and I am a shorter person, it has a tendency to pull your pants down. So if you see me doing a lot of this, no disrespect meant, it's just, it's pushing down my britches, right? So what I ordered from Amazon are Anthony's Organic Hulled buckwheat groats. So if you've ever had oat groats, wow, eyes are not so good this morning. I'll show you what they look like. They look like this. So they look like little seeds. You can cook this up into like a porridge, hot cereal, whatever you want to call it. I will get this on Azure. I'm going to be 100% honest, y'all. I've never had this particular waffle recipe. I have had buckwheat pancakes. I'm not a big fan of pancakes either. I do like waffles though. So I did not want to order in bulk for fear that I wouldn't like it, but I think I'm going to. So we need a cup of buckwheat flour. Now you could sift it to get out some of the germ, so to speak. I'm not going to do that. I want all the nutrition. I want all the fiber. I want to feel really full because y'all have heard my stomach growling. So let me show you what I'm going to do here. And I'm going to spare your ears because I'm going to be using my Nutri-Mill. And guys, I'll link everything that I can. If you ever want to know, like, I didn't see this, you know, what product is it? Let me know. I'm always happy to look it up for you and share. So there's that. Now, even though it says a cup, because I'm grinding this at home, it's going to be a lot lighter and fluffier. So I'm probably going to use more like a cup and a quarter. So I do love my Nutri-Mill very, very much. It's pretty. It's important to me, y'all. My Wonder Mill is definitely more versatile, but I find I'm grinding a lot more grain because this just sits over on my little bar cart. Okay, so you always turn on your mill before you add your grain. It's super loud. So I'm going to grind up our buckwheat flour and then we'll get to baking. All right, y'all, here is our beautiful freshly ground buckwheat flour. Like I said, if you wanted to, you could sift out any of the germ if you don't want that. I particularly do. I'm going to plug in my almost antique waffle iron that I purchased years ago. It's an Oster. It's probably 20 years old. I don't use it that often, but anyway. So in with our, and I'm doing a cup and a quarter. If it's not enough, I can grind a little bit more. I am going to put in a little stevia. I think you could totally do without this. This is cup for cup. It calls for a tablespoon of sugar or sweetener of your choice. Then 1 1/4 teaspoons of baking powder. We'll see if I have everything out. I highly doubt it. So there's 1 1/4. And I do use the aluminum-free baking powder. I find it at Azure. That's about the only place I've been able to find it. Y'all gotta realize I live in a little podunk town. So, it's the Rumford that is the aluminum-free. All right, next we're gonna add a teaspoon of baking soda. And I'm just letting my waffle iron heat up because I've learned through experience, you need to. All right. Now it calls for a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. Ta-da. And then it only calls for a 1/4 teaspoon of cinnamon. I think I'm gonna add a little more. I use the Ceylon cinnamon that I do buy. It's like 2/3 of a teaspoon. I do buy this from Azure, and if y'all didn't know, cinnamon is very good as an adjunct. Always follow your doctor's advice to lowering blood sugar. It's a very healthy spice. Okay, next we need a 1/4 cup of melted butter. I am going to use some unsalted, I think it's called Mother's Best or something like that. And then 1 1/4 cup of buttermilk. I don't have buttermilk, but I do have buttermilk powder. Y'all buy it from Azure if you have that ability. It is a scotch of the cost. I mean, it's like so much less expensive. So let me get these two things mixed up. And we have an egg we still need to add. And then we'll get to cooking some buckwheat waffles. All right. 1/4 cup of melted butter. Let me grab a spatula. I just kind of fluffed up my dry ingredients so everything was well combined. It smells amazing. It couldn't be because I'm starving and ready to eat off my own arm. So I'm kind of stir that in just so the melted butter does not scramble my egg. The buttermilk powder that you buy from Azure is 1 cup of water to a 1/4 cup of the, I thought this might be a little thin, buttermilk powder. So I may have to grind a little bit more buckwheat. Just, I'm finding like if it calls for 3 cups, you need 4. Oh, I don't know, it's kind of thickening up here. Let's see. And then y'all, I have to show you. Miss Violet laid an egg. She's so proud. So proud. I have over a dozen eggs sitting over there. So my girls are trying to earn their keep. And y'all could add, I think I'm going to add a splash of vanilla too. Oh, it's thickening up. It maybe could be a little thicker. Let's grab some vanilla. Okay. Just a little dab will do me. Another thing that I've learned, y'all, in my quest for a healthier life is food doesn't have to be like overly spicy. I hear you. My waffle iron's ready. To be satisfying, but I like my food to have a lot of flavor. I find it much more satiating. So yeah, let's just give one a try. Like I said, I may need, ooh, that's plenty hot. I may need to add a little bit more flour. And I usually manage to run this over. Oh, y'all, it smells so good. Kellogg's, you ain't got nothing on me. So what I need to do is just leave this cook till it says ready. I will bring you back when I have waffles made. This particular recipe said enough waffles for 2 to 3 people. I don't know. That That may not be, but we'll see what we get out of it. Okay, guys, stay tuned. Oh, we have 5, if I don't fall down, beautiful buckwheat waffles. They smell amazing. This was the last one I just made. Had a little less batter, so, you know, you got to eat the ugly one, as my dad would say. So first, ooh, that is hot. These were touted to be crunchy on the outside and very soft on the inside. It might be my waffle maker. They are fully done. Ooh, they are crunchy. Y'all have tried this. Wow. It has a really deep, nutty grain flavor. Not at all sweet, I can say that. I did have some organic maple syrup, and I thought, well, let's just try to dip it. Excuse me eating with my hands. Okay, yeah, that's really good. Wow. If you're concerned about the sugar level of having any syrup, stop eating, Kym. You could do fresh fruit. You could do a little dollop of like Greek yogurt with some fresh fruit. You could do a sugar-free jam or jelly. I think dipping into the syrup prevents, you know, your pancakes or waffles from soaking it all up, so you're eating less overall. So y'all, drop me a comment below. Would you enjoy me continuing to find recipes that I can recreate of ultra-processed food into something that's so much healthier for our bodies, won't play with our brains, and will still satisfy us and be good for us in the long run? I have a few ideas if y'all are interested. So today again is Monday. You'll see this on Tuesday. I am not ahead. So I plan to see you on Thursday, Lord willing. And y'all, have to tell you, my heating thing is still going gangbusters. It's hot, but it's not too hot. So I highly recommend this product. All right, guys, I will see you very soon. But until then, be healthy, be well, be blessed, and take care.